Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Sarah from Med Media Agency. And whether you're a dentist, chiropractor, med spa owner, or really just any healthcare professional, today's presentation is going to give you real clarity on something that's often overlooked, but absolutely essential for growing your practice, and that is key performance indicators, or KPIs. Now, here's the thing. Every clinic talks about wanting more patients, better ads, and higher ROI, of course, but very few actually measure what matters. So in this video, we're going to break down the most important marketing and operational KPIs that every healthcare professional should know. They are ranked from least important to most important, so make sure to stick around until the end because that's where the real gold is. All right, so you should really think of KPIs as your clinic's heartbeat. They really tell you what's working, what's not, and what needs to change before it's too late. So without tracking your KPIs, you're essentially running blind, spending on ads, paying for software, or training your staff without knowing if any of it's actually helping you grow. At Med Media Agency, of course, we see this all the time. Clinics with amazing doctors, but no system to measure their success. And once they start implementing KPIs or tracking them, their decision making becomes data driven, not guesswork. And that's when growth starts to feel predictable and stress really starts to fade away. So let's start with one of the most basic metrics, CPM, or cost per thousand impressions. This tells you how much it costs to show your ad 1,000 times to your target audience. It's really a great way to gauge visibility and understand how competitive your market is. But the catch is cheap CPMs don't always mean success. You can have low costs, but if those impressions aren't converting into leads or booked appointments, then you're just paying to be seen and not chosen. So while CPM is a nice baseline, it's really only the surface level of what truly matters. Next, we have CPLC, or cost per link click. This basically shows how much you're paying for people to click through to your landing page or website. It's the first sign that your ad is resonating with the audience. A low CPLC usually means your ad creative is engaging, but again, clicks don't essentially equal conversions. So you might have people clicking out of curiosity, but not intent. So this KPI helps optimize ad performance, but it doesn't tell the full story. Okay, now we're getting closer to what really impacts your bottom line. CPL is very important. It is your cost to generate a lead. It really tells you how affordable your marketing is, and also a low CPL equals great efficiency, but only if leads are quality, of course. What's even more important is CPQL, or cost per qualified lead. These are essentially leads that actually fit your target patient profile, someone who's not just interested, but ready to book or seriously considering your service. So for example, if you're an Invisalign or All-on-X provider, a qualified lead is someone who has the budget, interest, and motivation, and not just someone scrolling for fun. So while CPL gives you quantity, CPQL gives you quality, and that's where true efficiency really starts. So next up, we have cost per appointment. This is a KPI that essentially measures how much it costs you to get someone actually scheduled. So this bridges the gap between marketing and operations. If your ads are performing but appointments aren't being booked, there's a bottleneck, obviously. So maybe from your automation, follow-ups, or front desk response time. This metric keeps everyone accountable from the marketing team to the receptionist because it tracks what truly matters, and that's obviously getting people on your calendar. So here's where we start getting to the metrics that really separate average practices from elite ones, and that's CP show, or cost per show up. So this tracks how much you spend to get a patient physically walking through your doors. You could book hundreds of appointments, but if half don't show, your cost per acquisition doubles. So this KPI tells you how reliable your booking system is. It tells you how well your team confirms, reminds, and engages patients before their visit, essentially. So we've seen clinics reduce their CP show by 30 to 40% just by improving their reminder systems or implementing same-day text follow-ups. Next up is CAR, or call answer rate, and this is all about responsiveness. If your team isn't answering calls quickly or consistently, you're literally watching potential revenue just vanish. Show rate goes hand in hand. It measures the percentage of booked patients who actually attend their appointments. Together, these KPIs tell you how efficient your front desk and internal systems really are, because at the end of the day, marketing can't fix what operations fails to follow through on. Next is show rate, and this really goes hand in hand with call answer rate as it measures the percentage of booked patients who actually attend their appointments. Together, these KPIs tell you how efficient your front desk and internal systems really are, because at the end of the day, marketing can't fix what operations fails to follow through on. Next up is booking rate, and that obviously measures how many leads convert into booked appointments. This is really a direct reflection of your staff's communication skills or the quality of your automation system if you are using one. So if your booking rate is low, that's your signal to refine your scripts, speed up follow-up times, or simplify your lead forms. Remember, the faster and more personable your response is, the higher your booking rate will be. Okay, so now we're at the king of KPIs, CPA, or cost per acquisition. This is really your true north. It combines every element from ad spend to follow-up to show rate and closing into one number. So if you're spending $250 to acquire a $2,000 treatment plan, that's obviously a win. If you're spending $250 to acquire a $300 cleaning, that's a problem. When you track CPA properly, you can finally predict growth. So you'll know exactly how much to spend to scale profitably instead of really guessing. All right, so ROAS, this one is also extremely important. It tells you how much revenue you earn for every $1 you spend on ads. So if your ROAS is 5 times, that essentially means for every dollar you have invested, you're going to earn 5 back. And that's where marketing really becomes an investment, not an expense. But you can't just rely on a single campaign snapshot. Real growth really comes from understanding your average ROAS across months and channels. So from Meta to Google and email combined, to see where your strongest ROI really lives. All right, so this one's a real game changer, SDL, or speed to lead. It really measures how fast your team contacts a new lead after they inquire, essentially. So research shows that the chances of booking a patient drop by over 80% if you wait just 10 minutes to respond. And that's why at our agency, we automate the first contact instantly, so no one slips through the cracks. When it comes to healthcare, patients just want reassurance now, not tomorrow. Okay, finally, LTV, or lifetime patient value. I'd say this KPI sits in the top 5 most important KPIs for sure. This tells you how much a single patient is worth over their entire relationship with your practice. So it's not just about a one-time visit, it's about building trust, retention, and loyalty, of course. So for example, a patient who comes in for a single cleaning might spend $200, but if that same patient stays with you for 5 years and gets whitening, Invisalign, or brings in family members, their lifetime value could exceed $10,000 just as an estimate. So LTV isn't just a number, but it's the story of how well you serve, retain, and delight your patients. Okay, so let's recap real quick. So the first few KPIs that I showed, CPM, CPLC, CPL, are really just surface metrics and they show awareness. But as we move deeper, CP show, CAR, CPA, ROAS, STL, LTV, that's where the real growth happens, because every clinic can spend money on ads, but only the smartest clinics are the ones that track and understand their numbers. And they're the ones that really get predictable, consistent results. So this is just a concise summary table of all the KPIs I previously mentioned. It goes over what the KPIs mean and then why it's important for medical clinics. If you guys would like, you can go ahead and screenshot this and refer back to it whenever you want. So to sum it up real quick, at Med Media Agency, we really don't just run ads. We track, optimize, and automate every KPI you just learned about. So from the first click to the final conversion, our US-based team handles everything, from calling the leads to qualifying the patients to securing cards on file and scheduling appointments, which really means you don't have to lift a finger until the patient walks through your door. So if that sounds good to you and you're ready to scale your practice without sacrificing patient care or your sanity, be sure to click the link in the description to book a call with us. We'd love to talk. And as always, thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Med Media Agency's channel for more insights on growing your healthcare practice through smarter marketing.